Let me get to the bottom of this. Because right now, our culture would say that there's no way a woman should be in subject to a man. That she is equal to, and there is no submission. If anything, it's an equal partnership. If I'm not even smarter than he is and should be calling the shots. All right? So this idea of submission is a wildly unpopular idea. But let me get to the bottom of it this way. The thrust of this text isn't submission or subjection at all. That's a secondary issue. It's an issue, but it's secondary. The primary issue in this text concerning the woman is simple. Here's what it is. The command of God on the woman to not put her hope in anything other than him. Intrinsic within this text is, as the women of old have done, as women of God have done historically, put your hope in God. Okay? How you're defined, where your strength comes from, where your purpose comes from, you put your hope in God. And then there's an appeal in this text to make sure that you don't put it in one of two places that women have a tendency to put their hope. Number one, external beauty. Did you hear it in the text? He's not saying don't braid your hair. I mean, this text isn't going, oh, braid your hair, hooker. All right? That's not happening in this text. You miss the point where you make this text read that way. All right? That's not what happened. He said, don't put your hope in external beauty, and don't be defined by an external sensuality. Don't do that. It's an appeal to modesty, and it's an appeal to the development of the mind and the soul of a woman. All right? That's the appeal. And listen to this. This is the woman that the Lord loves. Not only does the Lord love, but apparently everyone does. Let me read this to you. Proverbs 31, 25 through 28 and 30. Listen, you don't have to turn there. I'm going to read it. Listen. Strength and dignity are her clothing, and she laughs. She opens her mouth with wisdom, and the teaching of kindness is on her tongue. She looks well to the ways of her household and does not eat the bread of idleness. Her children rise up and call her blessed. Her husband also calls her blessed and praises her in the streets. For charm is deceitful and beauty is vain, but a woman who fears the Lord will be praised. So the scripture says, no, don't find your hope, don't find your purpose, don't find meaning from external beauty. Cultivate your soul, cultivate your mind. This woman, she opens up her mouth and wisdom falls off. When she speaks as one who is wise. She doesn't respond, oh my God, really? That's not how I'm going to get in trouble for that, aren't I? She speaks with wisdom. She is intelligent. Intelligence doesn't just happen. This is a woman who has spent time cultivating her soul, cultivating her mind, and her husband and children sing her praises. And they don't talk of her external beauty, do they? No. Why? Because beauty's vain, charm is deceitful. She has depth. She has depth. She has not been defined. She has not gotten by on. She has not let her value been caught up in fleeting physical beauty. The other thing I want you to notice about this text is how self-assured this woman is because of the cultivation of her soul. Because when she opens up her mouth, she speaks in not only wisdom, but in kindness, which means she feels no need to, with her tongue, tear down other women who she views as a threat to her. So all the cattiness just kind of disappears. The cattiness disappears because she doesn't need to prove that she's better than anybody else, and she's not threatened by other people's talents or beauties because she's cultivated her soul and not just her external beauty. So the scriptures here say, put your hope in the Lord and not in external beauty. Now, the second one, intrinsic within this text, is put your hope in God, not just external beauty, and put your hope in God, not a man. Okay, so years ago, my wife picks the movies. I'll tell you why here in a little while. I lucked out. She likes to see people get killed, and so we get to go to cool movies. But this time in particular, she wanted to go see Jerry Maguire. And so I got in the car, and we go and see, I try to avoid Tom Cruise movies, and we go and we watch Jerry Maguire, and there's the scene where Renee Zellweger and him are in, Tom Cruise are in the elevator, and this man and woman come in, and they're kind of all over each other, and they're kind of just barely holding pinkies, and this couple's like basically making out in the elevator, and then he backs up, and he's deaf. We find out he's deaf, and he signs something to the girl, and then she kisses him, and Renee was like, oh. And then she tells Tom, he just said, you complete me. And then if we fast forward to the end of the movie, what happens is Tom Cruise runs into this living room where there are all these really bitter, angry women, and he throws down his bags, and he says, I'm good in the living room. They always used to send me into the living room. I could go into the living room, and I could close the deal. And so, okay, let's just do this. Tonight was a very big night for our little experiment. Tonight was a very big night for our little company, but it wasn't nearly as good as it could have been. It wasn't nearly what it could have been because you weren't there. You complete me. And Renee did what? She was like, shut up, shut up. You had me at hello. And everybody's just like, oh, God, this is so sweet. Everybody but me in the theater. And I was like, that idea, look at me, that idea is a steaming pile of garbage that has woman after woman after woman on a search for the unicorn. The Oompa Loompa, snipe hunting. Yeah. I'll be very honest, and I've said this on the Saturday night service, literally someone gasped when I said it. Can I be really just straight with you? My wife, Lauren, she's just a girl. And I could be married to another woman and be happy. Do you know how I know she's the one for me? Because I'm married to her. That's how I know. If I was married to someone else, they would be for me. See, in this idiot ideology that we've created with our movies and with our, like if one person marries the wrong person, doesn't that jack it up for everybody? Because that means, okay, let's just be honest. Come on. You buy in, you go see the stupid movies over and over again. Let's be honest. That means, say, if Lauren's not my girl and I married another girl, that means I married someone else's perfect one, which means now they're forced to marry someone else's perfect one, which now means they're forced to marry someone, and you just do the little map, and what happened is 700 years ago, somebody married the wrong guy, and now we're all in trouble. This is a foolish, ridiculous idea. Look at me. Look right at me. I'm pleading with you on this. I'm just a man, and Lauren's just a girl. I'm just a man. Lauren cannot complete me, cannot fulfill me, cannot make sense of my world. And to expect her to is to put pressure on her that she will be unable to carry, will be unable to sustain, and will be unable to bring any of those things into my life, which will create in me an anger towards her for not doing what she was never designed to do, created to do, or able to do to begin with. So when a woman says, this man will complete me, this man will make sense of my world, this man will make me know who I am, this man will heal my wounds, this man, you are putting weight on a man that he will be unable to sustain. It will only be a matter of time before he develops hobbies to get out from under that expectation. He cannot carry it. Put your hope in God, not men. We're sinners. Like you get, we're sinners, which means sometimes on accident and sometimes, God help us, on purpose, we're going to fail you and wound you. Don't ask us to be more than we were designed to be. We will fail you. Put your hope in God, not in external beauty and not in men.